Hi and welcome. Today I have a piece in my homemade art journal and it's going to be fun. I'm starting with a piece of 5.5 by 5.5 mixed media paper, and it's been prepped with gesso, and I'm adding a layer of paint titanium buff. And I'm using my silicone spreader because I kind of want it to be not perfect. So that kind of leaves some areas, and that's exactly how I wanted it. The next layer is blue. This blue is Artist Loft's light blue, and I'm just using the same technique. I want this piece to look like a piece of furniture that's had layer after layer after layer of paint over years. So I hope I accomplish that. The next color is a Liquitex, and it's Naples yellow hue. And here I don't want as much, so I'm trying to control it a little more and just add a little bit here and there. And I'm letting them dry in between, just so I don't create mud. Now I'm adding some more of that titanium buff. I like it because it's light but not white. And then I'm using Payne's Gray. It's not quite as dark as black, and I really like it. And I'm mainly adding it to random edge areas, although I do splatter it. And I'm using the tip of the silicone brush just to kind of add some lines, like, you know, maybe it's been cut or something. It just adds a different texture. And here I'm going back in with maybe with some splatters in the Payne's Gray. And the next color is Primary Red. And this may seem like an odd choice, but I just want it to peek through at some points. Now it's going to look like I'm putting a lot on, but most of that is going to be covered up. I just want to be able to see bits and pieces of it. and a few red splatters. And I come back and add some black on top of the red. I use some acrylic ink there and add a few splatters, but I really don't think it's necessary. I don't think you actually see any of that in the end. Okay, so I dry all that. I come back in with some of the original blue. A little more titanium buff on the edges. Kind of looks like I keep repeating, but it really does kind of all come together at the end. Okay, now for the final color, final coat. I'm taking some light blue and then some Amsterdam, Naples. Let's see, I think it's Naples green. I guess it's Green Garden. I can't really read it. But I mixed my color because I didn't really have the right blue that I wanted. So I just mixed it, and I wanted it to be like a patinaed green, like the color copper gets. And I have to mix a little more. And so this would be like the last coat of paint it got. But even that was years ago. And that's all the acrylic paint. Now I'm working on a focal image. The piece is dry, and that is a piece of collage from Ideology, Tim Holtz, and I'm just gonna glue that onto the back. That'll be my base piece, and I'm gonna cover that with some matte varnish. And the next piece was just a piece of scrapbook paper. And then that's a piece of old paper that I just have stamped from a stamp from Rubber Dance. And I have this tag that I had written something on it and I didn't like it, so I'm covering it up. I'm going to use it. And this is just a piece of paper I had to lay down to catch overages of stamps. And so it's just got bits and pieces of random stamps. And so I'm going to put that, and I'm going to put some color on it. I think I end up doing acrylic paint on it, but I'm going to add some, I think I put clear gesso on there because I want to still see the stamps. Oh yeah, that's right. I do end up using some acrylic paint, but before I do that, I add some distress crayon. I don't do the voiceover of these right away, so sometimes I forget. I had the piece right here I'm looking at, but I totally forgot that I had put some distress crayon down. I take a baby wipe and a stencil to give it a little pattern. I'm repunching that hole. I glue that down with liquid glue because it's a little thicker, but I do come back and add some acrylic paint to it. Not sure if it's before or after I add the next piece. Definitely after. All this is just from an ephemera pack that I've had for years. Okay, so now I'm gonna make some of that patina green. And just slide it onto that tag a little bit. I have this flower that has some of the yellow in. Even though you can't see much yellow in the piece, it's there. And so this would kind of bring out some of that yellow. And I use a Posca paint pen here, and I'm just gonna add some marks, and I end up not liking it, and I attempt to wipe it off, but it mostly comes off, but it leaves like some little dried tidbits of it, which I kind of like. But I come back and with some of the Payne's Gray acrylic ink and a stencil, and I add a design, and I don't think I get that on camera here. Yeah, see, I'm wiping off that Payne's Gray. And I don't mind that little bit of what's left. So yeah, I didn't get that on film, but in the next picture you'll see it come up that that's just a part of a stencil, and I did it with acrylic paint, and that's it. So I hope you're inspired to create some art. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and have a great day.